Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. In today's video, we are going to actually be talking about fly traps. We are here in front of my bathtub bog. It's been set up for a few years and there's all kinds of interesting things going on in here. Lots of sundews, Sarracenia, cobra lilies, Venus flytraps are in there. This is out in full sun and let me tell you, it's really hot today. There is a bit of a breeze, but you know what the breeze is? It is the ventilation fans from the greenhouse blowing hot air down onto this area. So let's move in a little closer and have some looks at the fly traps. As we come in closer, you might be able to see like flies flying around here. They're very attracted to the Sarracenia pictures. Sitting on all the leaves, crawling around. They're just basically everywhere. These pictures are great at getting rid of insects like flies. The tubes get full by the end of summer. And as you can see, it's really bright and sunny. And we're just going to dive in a little bit deeper. We are now getting on top of the Venus flytraps. You can see the Venus flytraps flowers here are in full bloom right now. And they look really pretty. And down in below them are the Venus flytraps. And that's what we're going to talk about today. And I want to give you some tips on how to stop killing your Venus flytraps. Because we sell a lot of Venus flytraps here. We sell hundreds or thousands a year. We produce even more than that. But the number one question I get is, why did my Venus flytrap die? And there's a lot of notions that Venus flytraps are a tropical jungle lover with steamy, dense jungles, and that's just not such a case. So we are going to give you the top reasons that these flytraps are doing great, and yours on the windowsill may be kind of lacking a little bit. Okay, so the first thing we are going to do here is we are going to get in and actually remove these flowers. As much as they look great, they are taking energy away from the plant. So unless you're wanting to sow seed, there's no reason to keep these guys at all. So I'm just going to get rid of all of these. And what that's going to do too is make it so we can see into where the fly traps are living. All right, now we can get a look at these guys close up, basking in full sun. You can see they have caught their own food in there. There's a little fly that has been digested. There's a few other traps that we can see have probably stuff in them as well. And that's just because they're living in a sort of natural way. So I want to describe a few things here. It is peat moss. And they're not sitting in water. They're sitting in moist peat moss. It gets watered every day with RO water and then rainwater when it rains. But they are not sitting in water. It is actually a lot drier than you think it is. And everything is loving it being in there dry. What else can I tell you? So we want to make sure that we're not making these things soggy and saturated. That just leads to rot. And you can see them out here. They're living perfectly fine, just like that. Getting watered and just staying moist. The next thing is the light. I can't express enough how much light these guys actually need. And full sun does them well. If you take your plant that you just got from Walmart and put it in full sun, it is going to cook. All plants have to be acclimatized to the sun slowly. Even if I take ones out of the greenhouse or that I'm growing indoors under lights, they have to be acclimatized slowly in order to not just be fried. I also brought out a thing of potting mix here, just so you can see exactly what we're working with. So this is what my mix looks like in the bog, and this is what I use for most of my Venus flytraps, almost exclusively. It is just a good mix of peat moss and perlite. We got to make sure we don't use anything Miracle-Gro or anything with fertilizer in it. So it is just plain coarse perlite and plain peat moss. And that is going to be what I use for all of this. The bog itself underneath looks like this, with just a top layer of plain peat, because I hate the look of the perlite on the top of this sort of bog situation. But that's what we're growing in. It always stays moist, it never stays saturated, and it works out very well. And you might be watching this going, well, that's all fine for you, you have a big bog to grow in. So how do I grow them in pots? So I brought this guy out to show you as well. This is another one that has been growing in full sunshine, and we're going to do a little bit of work on it. We have to cut off the flower spikes, get rid of those, And you can see how bright and colorful it is growing in full sun. It is just gorgeous. Looks really, really nice. Big teeth on it. Big plant. And it's in the same potting mix. I just have a little bit of bark on top to stop the moss from growing. And if we look at the pot, I'm going to back you up a little bit here. We are growing in a 6-inch deep or 6-inch tall pot. It gives plenty of room for the roots, and it gives plenty of room for there to be a little bit of water down below. These grow in a different sort of flood table where it floods up with RO water. And funny thing is, you can see it on the line here. It floods up to there with RO water, and then it drains out over the course of about an hour down to just about a half a centimeter at the bottom of the tray. So these guys are not deep in water. Again, they are just really moist. They never dry out, but they are never really truly flooded. We are going to quickly move into one of the greenhouses. It is 40 degrees in here, so you're going to hear a little alarm going that starts to go off at about 38 degrees just because it's the heat of the day. There's no shade cloth on this greenhouse, and I want to show you a few more things before we end this video. And if we look across here, we see a bunch more pots of fly traps. But what I wanted to actually bring you in here to show you was, and if we go down a little bit, the RO system that actually feeds it. So this every day pumps in some RO water. It goes for about an hour or so, gives us enough gallons to raise up the level in here, and then we drain it out. If you're using tap water for your Venus flytraps, that might be also what's really hurting them. They absolutely need pure water. It doesn't have to be RO water, but it should be some sort of purified water where the total dissolved solids, the TDS, is down below 50, if possible, even lower than that. So, in closing, if you want to stop killing your Venus flytraps, and again, I'm making this video because that's the #1 question I get asked, is why my Venus flytraps died. Make sure you get those guys out into full sun. Slowly, but get them out into full sun. Make sure you're giving them proper water, clean water, not tap water. TDS 25 to 50 max, less is even better. Full sun also brings out their colors amazingly. So there's just an added bonus to having them in the full sun. Sorry again about the alarm going off in here. It is hot. Don't be scared of them being hot. There's no extra humidity supplementation in here. It's hot and dry, and they don't mind it at all as long as they don't dry out. There's where we're going to talk about water level in your pot. Make sure you have a tall pot, something that is 6 inches tall. That way it gives a lot of space between the water and the roots. The roots can grow down deeper if they need more water, but they're not going to be constantly flooded. As you've seen from the bog out front, these guys like it dry, so it doesn't have to be a swamp. It just needs to be moist, and they will be very happy, along with all the sundews and the sarracenias and everything else. So anyways, I hope you like this video, and if you want to see more videos like this, make sure you subscribe to my channel. As always, thanks for watching.